Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel at VAG Technic. This time we're working on an Audi as usual. We have a facelift S5 here, which is basically B8.5 with a 3-liter supercharged engine, which doesn't have a supercharger anymore. And the car come to us for a bigger service, which is water pump, thermostat, PC. We do the carbon cleaning, and plus the owner of the vehicle wants to do a DeCat, but he bring something special. CTS downpipes, which will be fun, because before he actually bring them, I did ask him if it's for left-hand drive or right-hand drive, which he don't know, I don't know either, and we have to find out if they will actually fit. The reason why we put the video on the beginning how the engine sounds like is we want to do a comparison with them and without them, or with the stock exhaust. So I don't think this car have actually any tune. The only thing what's on it was the intake with the high flow filter. That's about it. If I have to say something about general condition of the car, it's a normal UK car, which is a bit dirty from underneath, bit surface rust here and there, but that's how they are. And the engine looks pretty clean. There is a bit of oil coming from the timing chain covers, which is common on these, and it's a bit of a pain to actually reseal the covers. I think it's a good idea to do it now. I can actually ask the owner because the exhaust is coming off, and we have to also drop the engine a bit down because one of the catalytic converters never want to come out because it's too wide. And yeah, so far everything went well until I was working on the injectors. Well, I tried to remove them. 5 of them went out fine. Number 1 was quite hard to actually remove, and the result is catastrophic failure. Unfortunately, I do apologize to the owner, but there was no other option because we have this injector jigger. So this is what we use when they stuck. We always try to gently tap it, and basically the injector sits in there like this, and you just slightly tapping it against the plastic and it should come out. So 5 of them were like okay, but number 1, you can see the result. The plastic broke off from the top, and I have quite a bit of a fun and struggle to actually remove it. The carbon buildup in this car is actually quite big, I must say. The car only done around 60,000 miles, and I already put some footage in the video before, but the carbon buildup is like quite bad. So it should be done on a regular basis. We are saying like 15 to 20,000 miles, and then you should get it done again if you want to keep it like clean. But not everyone is coming down after so many miles. I must say the engine in the middle is sort of clean and dry. I didn't see any problem. The PCV wasn't actually leaking inside or outside, which was good. We just have to clean up everything. We already have everything new over here. So that's all the old stuff. You can see the PCV valve, which is the trim. Basically most of it is a Y pipe for coolant, and this middle section with the top is basically a PCV breather, which goes straight into the supercharger. The coolant pump looks good, no leaks. Thermostat looks good, no leaks. The pump is there since 2009, which is odd because that is 11 plate, and the thermostat is there since 2012 June. So never been done. However, we've got everything here what needs to go on there. So again, new PCV with the AC or AH part number, so that's the latest. Also water pump with the vacuum section over there, so that's your preheating, so it will basically slide out and it will cut the flow from the water pump, so the engine will warm up quicker. That's the only reason why that thing is over there. New thermostat with the gasket and inlet, exhaust, everything is here. And these are the downpipes what we will be fitting. So CTS turbo, I'm not sure if they will fit because we have a supercharged engine, not a turbo engine, but it looks like a nice piece of metal. However, we will see if there won't be any problem because it should have a cut for the steering, and I don't see anything like it. They also send these gaskets, which we always put in the bin straight away, because you can see the middle how poor material it is, and they can actually start blowing very quickly, so they go in the bin. And we are putting proper genuine metal ones in there. So the plan is right now, we're still gonna put the camera into the cylinders. We will check those if there's any damage, scratches, or how the cylinders actually looks like. If they will be fine, we will continue with the carbon cleaning, clean up the whole middle. We will put all the new accessories on there, and then we have to lower the engine with the subframe, and we will be working on the exhaust from underneath. So let's put the camera in and see what's going on inside. Okay, so we are using this VAG cheap camera, but it's doing the job. It's sort of a good quality, and especially I like it because you can change the angle of the camera on the end, which is very helpful at some conditions. And let's check the first cylinder. So the carbon buildup on the piston is quite big, and this one is actually completely up at the moment. So let's check another one. Hello. So yeah, again, you can see the amount of carbon which is built up, especially over there. This dirt is probably from the injectors, how I removed them. So we gotta clean up all that. But the good thing is I don't see any scratches on the cylinder wall, and it looks good. You're always gonna have like few marks here and there because obviously it's just like polished aluminium block. And yeah, the carbon buildup is quite big on them. So best thing will be to put some additive and good feel in there, try to clean it as much as possible. But yeah, the last time when we were checking the cylinders inside, number 6 has a huge score from top to the bottom, and we actually turned down the job to do the timing change because there's no point spending money on a engine to do such a job when it can actually let go on you. So yeah, again, bit of a dirt on the side of the walls, but nothing serious. So I think this side is good. You can see how the camera now tilt. You can see the top and the carbon buildup on it. See that? So yeah, the carbon buildup is quite big on them. There's nothing what we can do too much. So let's go on to the other side. I must say that the spark plugs were probably recently changed. I don't see they're like black, like they're burning oil or something. So that should be fine. And again, all the dirt. So we gotta clean up everything what's inside there. Make sure it will not make any more scratches. But yeah. This one here is a bit wet for some funny reason. Again, the carbon buildup is quite big on the piston. But yeah, there's nothing we can do. Let's just turn the engine a bit so we can see the other cylinders, and then we'll continue with the cleaning. Okay, so I turned the engine a bit. Just gonna do a quick check on this one over here, which again, just a small dirt here and there, but the bore inside looks good. There's no huge scars, which is the main thing. And we need to check this one over here. Opa. Again, carbon buildup, but yeah, I don't see any huge scratches. So yeah, by my opinion, it should be all right. I don't see a problem why we need to do a rebuild today, not like on the other days, and I can finally continue with the cleaning. So I start by removing the PCV valve from the engine. Before I remove the PCV, I disconnect the coolant hose going to the oil cooler, because the PCV is the highest point where the coolant is still holding up, and you definitely don't want to have any coolant going into the engine and mixing with oil. Once that was done, I clean up all the surface and I basically vacuum clean everything around it and blow all the dirt from the inside of the engine. So when everything was ready, I just put a new PCV valve in there, tied everything to the Newton meter spec, and right afterwards a new thermostat is coming in. To replace the thermostat, you have to disconnect the front coolant hose, which is connecting the cylinder heads together, and in this case luckily nothing break, so I just replace the 3 O-rings which are on the coolant pipe, and I'm slowly getting ready for the carbon cleaning. So I put like a blue roll into the injector holes and one of the combustion chamber. We are using walnut to clean the intake valves. It's really good material, even in case it will get into the cylinder, it's just gonna burn and it will not do any damage. Meanwhile, I put the injectors for cleaning, and you can see the progress, how we clean up the intake valves. It's much better, but still got things to clean up in the corners. Okay guys, so meanwhile I'm waiting for the injector and one gasket to finish off the top of the engine. I will try to swap these catalytic converters for the cutlass pipes. I can't wait to be removing these clamps, which are a bit rattly, and also very professional welding was done here and there to remove the secondary lambda, I believe, from something. And yeah, there's silicone from bathroom on the exhaust. That's a good sign always. Unfortunately, these pipes, the catalytic converter ones, can't be removed just like easy. It's always very difficult, so there's not enough space, especially from this side. We have to drop the whole engine with the subframe a few centimeters, and then it should somehow slide around here. So that'll be interesting to do, but let's get to it. Okay guys, so game over for a cheap replacement of the pipes. Unfortunately, I didn't even spray WD-40 and clean it up as much as I could, and it's not anyways right in the corner. So I spoke with the owner. Unfortunately, the engine gotta come out, so sad situation. So engine removal, daily struggle, unfortunately. Obviously, we did disconnect quite loads of things to replace the catalytic converter for the downpipes, but there's still loads of things what needs to come off, like the air compressor, suspension arms, loads of wiring and coolant pipes and hoses from the top. Especially the prop shaft is quite a bit of a pain because it's not bolted on, it's just like slide onto the shaft and there's not space to manipulate with the engine, so it is a bit of a pain. But I probably spent extra 3 hours to remove the engine, and then of course we have to do the repair on the stat and also check if the downpipes will fit. And we have a day after, and the engine is out because why not? And the reason why not and why yes, it's easy. That one broke, unfortunately. There's always a chance that these cheeky bastards over the years will not come off. Unfortunately, the worst one didn't. Meanwhile, Miroslav removed the exhaust from this side. There's already modification going on. And we have to remove this one. I gotta repair that stud over there, and probably for the customer to help him a bit, we will reseal the timing chain covers on both sides. So yeah, let's get to it. Mirko, what's the problem? This is the problem. So, well, probably, maybe, because this is from America and the Americans are driving on the other side. The cut for the steering is missing, so that gotta be there. So Miroslav will have to cut it and somehow modify it. because otherwise we won't be able to put the steering back in place. So that'll be fun. So as you can see, the steering is from this side and it's actually going under angle. So unfortunately, if the exhaust don't have the cut, what you've seen, it will just not get through and it will be touching the exhaust. So yeah, unfortunately modification are needed. For the UK market, be careful when you're buying these test pipes, down pipes or whatever, because they have to have a note for right-hand drive cars. Otherwise you have to do modifications. And meanwhile Miroslav is modifying the exhaust. I start taking the timing chain covers off and we will put the fresh silicone in there so they're not leaking anymore. And good luck doing it without removing the engine because of the metal plate what you see there for the EGR, so you can't actually remove it that easily. And while I was making a new thread, I broke the thread maker in there, so more hassle, but I did manage to repair it, put the new stud in there along with the new gasket for the exhaust, and the test pipe is on there. And this is the beauty of the jobs, that you never know what you're gonna do, how long it's gonna take. This is meant to be a 2-day job. We end up working on it for like 4 days, so loads of fun. And meanwhile we also received new parts which we have to go through, so another 4 hours, so definitely time well spent. Okay, so we can continue. We resealed the timing chain covers left and right. That will be as a compensation for the customer. That exhaust was non-problematic exhaust and this exhaust was done. We also done a lovely cut for the steering. And we can continue in the middle now. So before we put the engine back in, I just want to finish everything off when we have a good access to it. And we'll be putting it back into the chassis. Okay guys, so the injectors are ready to go back in. They were cleaned ultrasonically. And we have one new injector, because as you can see that the old one didn't survive, unfortunately, but all the other ones have new seals and everything, so we can continue in the middle. When it's gonna be all finished, just gonna put the engine back in. Okay, so the flaps are in. They are moving, which is good, otherwise we will have a fault code like they are stuck, which you don't really want to have. Of course, always new gaskets, all replaced. We also did replace this vacuum pipe, and we can continue with the supercharger. That's what I'm saying. And we are finally ready to insert the engine back in, so we are lowering the chassis onto the engine. Again, bit of a pain to put the prop shaft back in, and plus the rest of the exhaust was modified, so it was going pipe on the pipe and it was just a bit of a problem to slide it on. The other pain was the cable for the automatic gearbox. Have to love it. There's absolutely no space to actually put the security clip on, and from underneath there's loads of things like suspension arms what needs connected and stuff. Once everything was done from underneath, we can move from the top, where you can see the loom needs to be connected back on, along with all the coolant pipes, hoses. The front end was literally just hanging, so that needs to be finished off. So there's loads of things. I must say we spent probably about extra 8 hours of labor because of the broken stud. But that's the life with the cars. Before we start the engine, we will crank it a few times to build the oil pressure up, and I'm really hoping the engine will start with no issues. Volt. Good. Yeah. The S5 is gone. It was a bit humiliating situation, I must say, because I'll tell you in a minute. Meanwhile, leave me a comment. What do you think about the sound comparison before and after what we've done the DeCat? I personally think it's a bit too loud, and especially normal driving in it's a bit resonating and it doesn't sound too good. For a weekend car, like Florida and stuff, it's sort of alright. I will enjoy it, but that'll be probably 1 or 2 days in a week, but not a daily drive. But that's just my opinion. So we've done what the owner asked us to do actually, and humiliating situation. Why we had a humiliating situation? Because it's not like the owner did push us, but of course he has some schedule. Somebody gotta go to work. And the original plan was drop the car on Monday. He will stay in the hotel over the night because he's not local, and Tuesday in the car will be done. That was the original plan. However, things went wrong. I broken the nut with the stud, and also, unfortunately, the engine gotta come out. I didn't broke it on purpose because we have other things to do. We have 2 rams right now clear, but there's RSQ3 outside waiting for the timing chains. And the owners did ring me like when. So another job is delayed because of another job. But yeah, the S5, bit of unexpected things. I did ask the owner about the downpipes, if they're for right-hand drive. He didn't know, then he said yes, then he didn't know, which I understand. And we need to do a bit of adjustments here and there. So Miroslav done a bit of adjustment. He cut the bit, welded back on. It looks nice. Everything was sorted. So sort of happy. However, soon as I get the information that is very critical to get the thing done today, Philip stayed here a bit longer. So thank you to Philip to help me out after 5 o'clock to finish it off. Without him, it probably wouldn't be done by now. And we went for a test drive, so we took the diagnostic. We went for a local drive down the road, around the corner. Everything seems to be fine until we pull up back to the garage where the owner was already. We shut the car down, checked the coolant level, checked the oil level, started up one more time, whistle. And I was like, no way. So my first thoughts were like, PCV valve, because it was coming sort of like from a PCV. I was playing up with the oil cap, and when I opened it up, the whistle stopped. When I put it back on, the whistle was back in there. So I asked the owner like, what do you want me to do, because you obviously need the car, you're going to work, this and that. He was like, no, he's not happy with the car as it is, which I understand, because who would like to take a car which makes a whistling noise? So the car stayed here, and I told him like, you have to have a look into it, blah blah blah, and he left. I didn't really feel good, obviously. We didn't went home. Philip stayed here with me, and we were digging around in the car. Took the supercharger off again, just to have a look if we didn't put the plastic bit in properly or something. And the most stupid thing happened, what never happened before. This gasket, well, there's 6 of them, we replaced them for new ones. But obviously how we put the charger on top of the gasket gets squeezed, but it gets squeezed like one of the edge was slightly bent. It wasn't straight like this, like squeezed, but it was slightly bent. And I think it happened when I put my foot down, the full boost went in, and it sort of bent out the gasket, and that was making the whistling noise because it was sucking air through it. So we never had the problem before. Luckily, it was an easy repair, which I'm happy. It took us only additional 2 hours. But I rang up the owner, he wasn't far, so I went to pick it around the train station. The car drove fine, everything was cool. He took the car, paid the bill. Speaking of the bill, the total bill for PCV, water pump, thermostat, carbon cleaning, 1 injector, 5 repair kits for the injectors, exhaust gaskets, welding, 1 vacuum pump, and kill me whatever we change on the intake gaskets. He paid labor material with everything £3,000, which is like, I don't know, leave me a comment. How much you guys paid for the DeCat and some other stuff on the B8. And yeah, he left. So he did tell me he'll be coming back. We will see how long it will last on the road, because I think it's too loud still. But we will see. The main thing is the car is gone, everything is sorted, everything is cool. So it's Thursday, 9 in the evening, I'm going home. Meanwhile, 2 rams are free. One of them tomorrow, we have a RSQ3 coming on. The other one will be probably S5 B8, where we have an engine built already. Dave is meanwhile finishing the B7 4.2. And if you remember from the last video where I was talking about the brackets, the green S4 is cleaned. So Mr. Patrick from Sapphire Detailing was here again, because he's a cheeky bagger. He's coming down from time to time to clean up these old dinosaurs for us. So the car was sitting for 2 or 3 years. You see the condition, it was quite sad to be honest, but I do like the color now when it's clean and polished. It's not like a mint car, but if you really have a closer look, I don't think it was resprayed anywhere and it looks really clean. I do like it. Interior, hold on. What do you say? Nice and white. No more mold, no more matte, no more nothing. So Patrick spent probably last 3 days cleaning it, polishing it, ceramic coating it and everything. And I must say it looks amazing. I really do like the color, guys. So if you have a look, love it. He also done the engine bay for us. It's not like we don't clean it. We did clean the engine and stuff, but it's about the small details. So we clean up the torpedo there. There were some leaves and stuff, you know, clean. So I think the owner can be a proud owner now of S4 B6 when everything is sorted on the engine. Runs and drives very nice. There's still some few details would need sorting up, but next time, because on the first run it was quite loads of money, what you've seen in the previous video. And yeah, I'm going home because I'm quite tired. Tomorrow is Friday. On the weekend I'm probably gonna be here because we have to build a B9's engine for the customers. We have a forge things coming in. So yeah, too many things unfortunately. And plus, somebody gotta edit the videos, which is probably the longest thing to do, but it is what it is. So meanwhile, thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for your support and everything. And we will see in the next video where we'll be working on something. I don't know on what yet, but yeah, take care for now. We'll see you in the next one.